line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker. The future is feeling.
Looking for a new PC or an upgrade to your current one? Look no further than Ford Entertainment Group, your home for the best quality and value in new, pre-built, and custom PCs at the lowest price guaranteed. We have affordable PC solutions for any budget, with custom builds starting at $595. Even the pros turn to Ford Entertainment Group to get them up and running. With valued customers from all over the world, it's easy to see why Ford Entertainment Group is the most trusted brand in custom PCs.
I wanted to save my awesome subscribers the most money when they started their sim racing journey. I searched high and low for the best deals. And I'm so proud that Jeffrey and I have partnered up so I can spread the good news about where to get the lowest price on a high quality computer.
Feel confident when buying from us with the FEG Satisfaction Guarantee. Get yourself on track today by visiting us online at FEGPC.net.
When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Lightning Wrapz. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Lightning Wrapz. Get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure. curtain, raise the flag, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lebanon, Tennessee, as we are now here in the Valley of Music, and the Music City itself is about to feel the roar that we create from these trucks here today on the show. Hello, everyone. I am the Crusader Christian Schreier. Joining you guys here today. Joining me once more here is Michael Bollinger here for the call. Michael, we're ready to wrap him off here and ready to set him down for a little Music City mayhem. How are you feeling about this one today, sir?
It's gonna be a good one. It's just gonna be maybe a little difficult for these drivers to find grip as these tires do start to wear. As I would watch these guys in practice a little, it's gonna be a little challenging.
Indeed it will be. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at our starting lineup in just a minute, presented in part by our friends at Six Sigma Sim Racing, the ButtKicker Company, Pit Stall Racing Series, Ford Entertainment Group, PC.net, or .com, excuse me, and GainZFitness Incorporated, and Wrapz. Thank you to all of them for their support, and thank you all so much for tuning on into the call. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to hit your starting lineup. Michael, you know the rows. Start them up, bud.
On the pole, the number 21, we have Robert Kahn. And right next to him will be the number 66, Corey Stahl.
Yeah, row number 2 will be the 95, Robert Warren's the outside, and that big number 7 is Jeffrey Vickery.
In row number 3, the number 90 of Dennis Warrens. And the number 51 of Jeffrey Ratke.
Row number 4 is going to be piloted by Dalton McCain. The 46, the outside in. That number 84, it is Matthew Hofford.
In the number 13 will be Hunter Haynes. And in the 20, Jeffrey Oates.
Hanson there, sir. And row number 6, that'll be Chantel the throttle pot on the 5 outside. In the big 55, Jason Brent.
In the number 76, Mike Rideout. And in the 15, Jordan Darnell.
Row number 8 is going to be piloted by Bobby Anderson, the 18 with the outside, and the 99, Wally Babb.
And rounding out your field, in the number 3, Jason Henry, and in the 12 of Shane Ledoux.
Your field of drivers is now set to go. Wally Babb going to serve a quick little EOL from last week. Get the field set up on the pace stuff. Plenty of time to work their way in and down across the plains. Corey Stahl, coming off a major win and a major upset just last week, looking to try and do another one, but Vickery still searching for win number 1, as Dennis Warrens is as well. They all have to face a challenge as we settle them off to our ButtKicker starting zone. It is time to begin the ButtKicker 100 at Nashville Superspeedway.
We got Robert Kahn jumping out to an early lead. We have 95 and Robert Warren trying to get up on his rear end and make a pass.
Oh, he didn't just get on his rear. He just got a whole bumper or two on that one. Kahn driving in a little too slow. Warren's not having that big bumper and using up that run. There goes the field, and now the 95-year race leader.
It looks like he's kind of a little bit of a bumper run to try to make the pass.
Well, I think something we got to be a little bit wary of too here, Michael, is that these drivers are going to have different braking points and braking zones, considering how tight some of the entries are in 3 and 1. Or in 3 especially, would be a lot more egregious, considering you're going from the backstretch of a straight line to an absolute little shot field into the turn. It's kind of as if Russellmore Speedway and Darlington had a baby, and this is what we ended up with, honestly.
Well, Talladega and Kansas, Talladega, Daytona even.
I don't think I'd throw that one in, honestly. But that's my call anyway.
It looks like we're getting Robert Kahn back into the lead.
Kahn jumping back out ahead of the lead, probably not too thrilled about Warrens. Remember what I said earlier about Kahn on the Pit Stall Racing Series. Do not make a rattlesnake mad. He will slither back and fire, and now the venom starting to be injected into the mold of Nashville Superspeedway. He's already making a run up to the field and trying to keep position zone as we're looking at our competition caution on lap 30.
And right now, it looks like we're getting a good battle between Chantel Pottle, the 5, and the 20 of Jeffrey Oates. And Chantel Pottle now is trying to run down the 84 of Matthew Crawford.
Now, both drivers so far this season have yet to come away with any wins, have yet to come away with any victories, but have come so close to the limelight. Oates mainly has gotten quite a few podiums there. Pottle still searching for that first win of her season. hasn't had a win in a while, and she told me earlier she was really hoping she may be able to figure something out, but with the competition level that she faces as well as these other drivers face, it's extremely difficult to get any kind of wins out here anymore.
Indeed, it's going to be. And we only have a few more races left in the season. A lot of these drivers are going to have to start buckling down if they want to really get towards the top of the season points pretty fast.
Beating and banging down on the back half. Dennis Warren's in the 90 and the number 7. Jeffrey Vickery getting out a little bit through turn number 1 into turn number 2. Warren's trying to hold off Vickery as Vickery is just hungry, to say the least, to get a win. He thought he had something at Charlotte Motor Speedway, only to completely get nullified and have something go wrong on his end. He told me earlier today he has not forgotten that. He knows he's still winless. He wants to change that with this today.
It looks like a lot of this field are now starting to get separated into single file almost now. It's going to come down to maybe pulling some slingshots and making buddies with people behind you and trying to make passes at this time.
Well, I think drivers and fans already know at home, but we'll kind of make it a little bit more clear for those that may not understand what they're driving on right now. This isn't your usual asphalt, your usual dirt. This is really concrete. If you guys know what Bristol Motor Speedway is, imagine that, but in a mile and a third, like Darlington size is, and even kind of around where Kentucky size is. And this is what you end up with. It's a very unique track with very minimal groove, but a lot of banking to it, allowing for multiple areas if you know how to shoot the turn and shoot the turns just right. But really, in my opinion, the tires are what face the most struggle here. Whoa!
Slide. As I have early trouble on entering into the trial room, but we stay green.
Dennis Warren's major trouble. The D-Dub button box number 90 going for a bit of a jump right off of turn number 4. Didn't quite catch what happened to him there. Looked like maybe he might have found himself trapped between a rock and a hard place. Here is your race. Here is your instant replay presented by the ButtKicker company. And looks like, whoa. Well, to me it looked like a bit of, looked like both drivers were just kind of side by side. Jeff Radke and Dennis Warren's really right in with each other, but didn't look like contact was made necessarily. I think it was really just kind of the old iRacing gremlins getting them here. Well, I guess it could have been a little bit of a tag there. It's very slight and minimal, though, the way it looked on our end.
It looks like he almost took Dalton McKinney as well, the 46.
Don McKinney did catch him a little bit on that corner there, so we'll have to see how that handles for him. Corey Stahl right now, last week's feature winner already. Michael proving last week was no fluke.
But still in the race lead is Robert Kahn, almost at a full second on Corey Stahl. Let's see if Corey Stahl can hopefully dig in deep and try to find some moves that work and try to stick close and hopefully try to make a pass for the lead before we move to our stage break today.
Zach Bow coming on board says, good luck, best of luck, y'all, and they've been rooting on everybody in this field. Great, Zach, thank you so much for tuning on in here today for the broadcast of the show. As we currently start to separate our drivers out, this is what I like about Nashville. This now turns into a driver's track. This isn't a, you race it head-to-head, you race it now one-on-one. So when you catch somebody now, you got to figure out what's the best line, what's the best run, where is the opposition, where is the momentum going to be playing out at. And also, I think really the biggest thing is that fuel in those tires. Again, 50% fuel, tire sets, only 3 extras, so they have room to use them, but trying to make passes with them, easier said than done when someone's blocking that bottom from you.
Now if they play it slower, I think they should have enough. They hit at lap 30, 60, and 90. Gotta get to the rest of the race. So we can't say that because cautions can also take effect too to fix this fast.
Yeah, a few times already it seems like drivers may have been a little bit complacent there, maybe thinking that things were going to get a little bit more hectic than they really were, but so far anyway, no, it hasn't been that level yet. They've been pretty consistent, they've been pretty conservative as well. I mean, that's a big thing. You don't want to go too crazy out of the gate. You don't want to try to pull it in Land Motor Speedway when they turn into a Superspeedway. Thanks a lot, NASCAR.
On that topic, for that pit strategy, that would be what I would more than likely do. But, hey, on the track, I'm not going to do, so I don't have a say.
Well, I guess there was one thing we could say. Well, that's just congratulations Joey Logano on winning that race at Atlanta. But I mean, other than that, though, I mean, comparing Nashville and Atlanta are just two completely different stories there. Atlanta is all about high speed and high power, and occasionally dealing with that loose terrain as the track wears and tears out there, really performs at a higher level. So, I mean, really the biggest thing I'm kind of seeing right now is the wear and tear of the tires and the grip losing out. But really the problem is they're not getting enough speed to transfer that back over, forcing others to really make amends with themselves.
I've noticed that too a couple times. You've seen some of these trucks like to slide up in the turns almost. Which, if you slide up at the wrong time, that can mean trouble for you, maybe the people behind you as well.
Well, you can see Jeff Radke there. He's come off turn number 2 there, Michael. He ended up having a little bit of a spot where the truck kind of drifted up slightly there, actually tightened up a bit. You can see it on turn 4 too. It's tightening up pretty quickly, but compared to Vickery, it's not as bad. And Vickery, I think, honestly, has maybe been a little bit more conservative, and that's what's kind of helping him keep his speed up. So, speed is one thing here, but in my opinion, the best line to survive is knowing where you're at and where to push this thing to.
Well, it's also going to come down to control too of your car when you start feeling the grip, on knowing when to let off the throttle and when to start putting the throttle back down to the floor.
Well, I think one big thing for me when I'm losing the grip is I get it from my direct drive, which is I literally will start to feel the wheels start to get a little bit lighter, and then all of a sudden I'll start to feel like this, almost kind of this jolt of electricity kind of just shooting out from inside the truck or inside the vehicle. It almost feels like kind of a, it just feels like kind of everything just kind of lightens up, and then you just all of a sudden now have to try to grip that back and make sure you don't lose it. And that's when all of a sudden it tightens back on you, and then you realize you either saved it or you've completely lost it in the corner. Either way, though, it's not an easy thing to catch, and it's definitely something that takes weeks into years and months of practice.
I'm learning that I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a grip fall off. When I'm running low in the turns, I'll start to feel myself slide up, and I'll know it's starting time to letting off the throttle. Each person has different strategies.
Speaking of let off the throttle a little bit, Hansen letting off a little bit to give Wally Babb that 99 Toyota Tundra a little bit of breathing room. The 99 moving his way right across the plains here. Again, he had a start in the back today in the 18th spot, not where we had marked him on the gridding order. He was supposed to start there, but he ended up going to the back to serve his EOL, and certainly he has served and proven why he is the points leader this season and why he could be the guy to take home this championship. And he's come away almost with a couple wins, but he's got one to his name, and ironically enough, came out of another place called a Superspeedway.
Other Superspeedways it can be, too. There's only 3 other ones that could be that I ran under Superspeedway rules.
Well, the good news is that plate track Superspeedway rule is that we don't really have that into effect here, so it's really just who can outwit and outmatch the other. Battle up here for third here, Michael, as we go right off to Vickery and Warren's. Vickery trying to get a run on that 95, and he is side drafting that 95 into oblivion as he tries to make a runoff on him. Radke, who got into their brother of Robert Dennis there a little while ago, currently in pit road, then came out. It's going to be about a lap down or so, and he's trying to get that back quickly before it's too little too late.
All you have to do is drive it in deep and hope it sticks.
That's for like for one lap in cars, if you haven't forgot about that. We need the guys need to figure this out for about 100 laps there, good sir.
Well, it looks like Shane LeDoux's trying to make a run on Wally Babb to try to make a run down him to take a pass. But with the distance they have, it might not happen. But who's to say it won't? Only these drivers can make such stuff happen.
It's all about timing and pressure and making sure you know when and where to make your move and make your mark. Vickery right now currently trying still with Radke behind, drafting him off and then kind of setting him back into the corner. Both drivers making some extremely big moves here when they can, trying to hope for the best, but neither one has been able to gain a ground on the other.
going to be interesting either way. It's going to come down to the pitch strategy or tire, or whoever better tires at the end.
Indeed, it will be here. And right now, with only about 6 laps remaining here in this competition caution coming out. Every driver has been trying to hunt down this man in the number 21, the Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn, in the Toyota Tundra Freightliner. He's aims to head off everyone and everything, but Corey Stahl, the Apex Sim Racing machine, not letting up yet, not giving him too much room to breathe. Trying to make sure he keeps him at honest and trying to keep him as civil as possible. He knows what he's got to do, and he knows what he needs to bring to the table. As we got a good battle here between Radke and Warrens now, with Oak starting to hold up the rear.
We can't be counting out anything drivers yet, because we're only 26 laps in, so anything can happen. There's a whole lot more racing left tonight.
There's have a whole lot of race left indeed, but I mean, let's go back to what we saw earlier at the start. Kahn getting a big bump there. I believe that was from the 51 of Radke, or it might have been Warrens actually. Actually, it was Warrens that gave him the old bump and run. Put him up on the outside, then claved him back down, then drove her right off, and then all of a sudden Kahn, like a madman on a mission, decided I've had enough and I'm going for broke. Driver's already heading into pit road 2, so pit stops now being made. It's a very tight sequence here and a very tough little spot to be put into, but again, they have to do it if they want any chance to try to hold on and try to hang on with this fuel run and this strategy. Again, this is a very, very strategic track, and this is what I kind of like about Nashville, is that it really shows the men and the women from the boys and the girls.
Well, these drivers that are going in now are going to have a slight advantage on this competition caution, because they'll have fresher Goodyear Racing Eagles, but they're still going to be a little worn. So they'll have a little bit of grip, but these guys going in on the competition caution will have more grip, so it'll be interesting to see how these strategies work out.
Currently watching on right now, looks like they indeed are going to use the Goodyears and get some old Goodyear service tires on them bad boys and get some fuel in there. Some though deciding only to take fuel and run.
These guys know this competition caution's coming up, so why would you want to take tires now when you can go in and take tires later, when you would need to more than likely want to save a set, so if a caution comes out, then you have to go on the green-white checker.
Fuel saving tire strategy works out this one though. The Rattlesnake will take home the competition caution. He has got the stage in his bag and in his grasp here, but again, winning that competition caution means absolutely nothing if you don't win this race. And Kahn, well aware of that, after such a hard season of moments of triumph and prosperity, he's trying to bring himself out of disparity and looking to bring home one for his team and his crew. Can he do it? Find out with us when we return here on PTM Racing TV. Tonight's race has been brought to you in part by our friends at Six Sigma Sim Racing. Six Sigma is your #1 Mosin Sim Magic dealer in North America, while also the manufacturer of best value high-end sim racing chassis in the market. By the ButtKicker, best sim performers for feeling real tracks on the virtual world. The ButtKicker, feel what you've been missing. By the Pit Stall Racing Series, the place for all your high-octane racing needs on Thursday nights. Be sure to tune on in with us for all your sim racing needs. By Forward Entertainment Group PC.net, matching with your wallet. FEGPC.net will always work with your needs to build the best PC at the right price. By GainZFitness.inc. And by Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure. Lightning Wrapz will bring out the best designs in your livery.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker. The future is feeling.
for a new PC or an upgrade to your current one? Look no further than Ford Entertainment Group, your home for the best quality and value in new, pre-built, and custom PCs at the lowest price guaranteed. We have affordable PC solutions for any budget, with custom builds starting at $595. Even the pros turn to Ford Entertainment Group to get them up and running. With valued customers from all over the world, it's easy to see why Ford Entertainment Group is the most trusted brand in custom PCs.
I wanted to save my awesome subscribers the most money when they start their sim racing journey. I searched high and low for the best deals, and I'm so proud that Jeffrey and I partnered up so I can spread the good news about where to get the lowest price on a high quality computer.
Feel confident when buying from us with the FEG Satisfaction Guarantee. Get yourself on track today by visiting us online at FEGPC.net.
When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Wrapz. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Wrapz to get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure.
Would be a good idea since they have so many.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here live on Pizza Race TV here at National Superspeedway with the ButtKicker 100. Has so far redeemed some pretty good results here for Pedal Metal Racing League. And Michael, so far anyway, Khan has definitely been the madman on a mission, but everyone else trying to get out of the madhouse and hopefully trying to bring home some positions in some key moments here.
Well, it's just like how they say, it's just like a certain driver in NASCAR. When he's pissed, he'll drive. I feel like that's how Robert Kahn is right now after what happened to him on the opening lap this year tonight. He's pissed, he's showing it out there tonight.
Well, I assume you'd be PO'd pretty mad, I would say, not necessarily that word, but I mean, the thing is, for Khan anyway, like I said earlier, when he gets into that position, you really just try to hamstring him, or you try to mess with him. He just does not have a care in the world, and he makes the best of it by simply just outrunning and outracing the drivers as much as possible, and it seems as though that yet again will be the culprit in the troublesome spot for them. Some storylines though going on right now. Currently Corey Stahl about 2 laps down, and a lap down for Wally Babb in the 99, and Matthew Hoffer in the 84, and the 90 of Dennis Warren's also a lap down. Pit stops definitely cost them there, that competition caution.
These guys probably had bad pit stops, they missed their box, so they had to go back around, which cost them more position and time on the track. Or they just had slow pit stops.
Hard to really say, but nevertheless, whatever had happened and whatever they did to themselves, they now find them in a very tight-ended position and now have to try to race it out from here. And that is going to be very difficult to work around and deal with, and they're well aware of that.
And the only cautions you'll be seeing from here on out are racing incident cautions. Not just a car going off in the grass, but you see a car spin and another car go, that would be a racing incident caution.
So right now we have set the field back up, and we have now lined all drivers into their position, ready to go for this final leg of the race. It is now time for the long haul to victory.
And face lights are off, drivers are getting ready to get back going again as they're entering the backstretch to get ready to go back green. They're getting filed in. These drivers are about to dig back in for more laps of racing. As these drivers are entering turns 3 and 4, pace car is getting ready to go back into pit lane. Khan, Wrapz, Bicker, Hendrick, Rideout, top 5 going into this restart. Pace cars into pit lane, drivers are coming down to the ButtKicker restart zone. And back to the gives we go. We are back racing here at Nashville Speedway. Superspeedway. Robert Kahn, back to where he started. Looking back at getting a long lead. Actually throws a block on the 51 of Ratke. But Ratke goes low and trying to make the pass.
Gonna try to take that drive down in between with the number 7 of Vickery now. Gonna try to push it as well. Kahn trying to keep the outside all to himself, but you can see the run now starting to fade away. The outside usually is the most optimal line on these kind of tracks, but that inside groove does make for an interesting dilemma here in Nashville. It makes drivers have to really work a little harder and then force the outside drivers to push even further and deeper. But turn 2 is a bit of an open shoot there, and that was Kahn's move, but he did not get enough run there on side-by-side drag race, and here for the lead.
And it is still a battle right now between Kahn and Ratke. Ratke's starting to pull away a little by only 6 of a second. Vic is now trying to join the party.
Ratke is the only driver so far this season to not only get 2 wins to his name, but also to be able to be right in that points hunt. And he is currently just a few points out of knocking Wally Babb down off the top spot. And where Babb is right now, this would be detrimental and extremely crucial. Babb needs to start figuring something out and figure it out quickly. He's running out of time if Ratke wins this one.
And right now, it looks like the field is starting to get back to single file again. Back to where he started almost in stage 2, stage 1 in. But right now, Corey Stahl in the 66 is kind of battling out with the 95 for a pass for Corey Stahl, trying to get a lap back out of 2 laps.
About two laps down, and unfortunately right now just struggling to maintain distance, maintain grip. Back in the pack here, 3 wide off, around the front straightaway for a second there. Dennis Warren's getting ahead, Pottle backing down a little bit, and so is Anderson, just to make sure they hit that turn just right.
Just like in some of these tracks, you don't have to turn just right. You could take yourself and maybe a couple of these good cars out as well.
One thing I like right now, though, is again, even though they're racing extremely hard, you can just see the nature of what they're doing. They're not racing too aggressively. They're not getting too out of control. This is what I call pure racing. It's literally the ideals of you let one car go, then you go to the other. You don't try pushing each other's luck. You don't try pushing someone around. You just race to your race. You have to throw blocks and throw hits. Yes, that comes later on in the race, though. This, to me right now, this is pure racing. It's that enjoyable little spot where we get everyone kind of stabilized in and stacked up, and they don't want to wreck each other out. They try to keep everything cool as can be. That's the hard racing aspect of it right now.
Yeah, because like they say, you don't need to win the race in the first lap.
Well, the iRacing terms, you don't win the race on turn 1.
Or on the first lap. You want to try to win the race when it matters. That's what I was always told.
Well, iRacing guys told me it was turn 1 that you don't win the race on, but apparently some people think it anyway.
And it looks like it's trying to be right out in Oaks, trying to battle it out right now for 6th and 7th.
Back in the top 10, Dalton McKinney jumping to the bottom, gets it right underneath the yellow line, trying to make his corner off on the 18 and the 5. Both drivers now lined in crucial spots here. Momentum fading as they sway through. It's shifted through the gears and shifted through the speeds. Every driver right now just trying to hold on, trying to make do with what they got. But even you said earlier with only a lot of drivers getting on lap 30 for fuel. I'm going to be honestly interested to see who takes fuel and who takes tires at certain parts of this race in certain areas, and will that work out in their favor? You wonder there.
We'll find out. It looks like Dalton McKinney right now is trying to hold off the 5 of Chantel Pottle and trying to use her to try to pass the 76. Try
to use a little draft off there on the ButtKicker 76 Silverado as he moves it down low. The McDingers machine trying to bring some threat level to the equation. Gets him right off. Right out, a little tight off the exit, and opened the door. The 46 now moving the chains.
Now time for McKinney to try to run down Anderson in the 18 Gravedigger machine.
Easier said than done. Anderson's championship reign, though, may be coming to a swift and unfortunate end this season. Unfortunately, not able to amass the consistency and level of speed that Ratke And Bab even put on it. Even also, we've got to forget about Jeff Oakes, who's been constantly in that battle. As Jason Henry off turn number 4 there, catching himself a little piece of that outside wall retainer barrier, but thankfully he's okay.
Okay, we don't need to say the hell to the melon down at National Superspeedway. That's no longer allowed. It's not Martinsville either.
Stanley C. Powell just came on board, says the High Banks National Superspeedway provides drivers with multiple racing lines to choose from, which can make for exciting side-by-side racing. However, it's also a challenging track to pass on, especially in the tight corners, which means that drivers need to be strategic and patient when looking for passing opportunities. I mean, pretty much kind of named off everything we said earlier, but yeah, that sounds about right.
Now it looks like we're trying to have McKinney trying to now work with Bobby Anderson to pass the number 3 as well. So you can have the momentum to pass Bobby Anderson when he gets the chance.
I mean, if you're a driver right now behind someone who's got a little bit of control and consistency, I mean, I would probably want to use the guy that's most consistent, keeping draft line, keeping contention for the most speed and most power. But speaking of that, how about another drag race here? Here we go. Khan and Radke battling back and forth. Khan, slight fetch of the fenders there off turn number 2. Both drivers having a little bit of a tussle down there. This could get interesting.
Let's hope they don't try to wreck each other out, because that would ruin both of their chances at trying to get a chance at knocking Wally Bab out of contention.
Now Khan's out at this point. No matter what he does, honestly, his championship season is done and over with. So we will have a new season champion, more than likely. All the seasons we've had on the show, I believe it's been Khan who had has many championships to his name. He was one of the very few drivers that we've ever heard on P-Series TV that's been able to win as much as he has and been able to stay as dominant and consistent as he has for so long. But the problem is, though, is that he faces so many more obstacles in his way and in his place when it comes to the next season and what comes down to it later on in his career. And he told me earlier that he is starting to slow down. He is starting to get a little less into the track and into the trucks or the cars. And he says he misses it, but he has life and worry about, and of course he has other things he's facing constantly. So, I mean, if anything for him, these wins aren't coming to be any easier, and these championships are going to be even harder.
Well, as we are a little double file back towards the end of the field, but in the front of the field, we're basically single file racing.
Top them.
Some of these guys that are double filers, the 99, 95, 80, 66, and 84. These are just some of the drivers that are trying to go double file. Trying to get laps back.
Well, I was about to say, those that you just named off are drivers that are currently laps down, trying to hope for a little bit of a break, a little bit of an opportunity stall, especially trying to kind of redeem from earlier. Not sure what went wrong down there, but it seems as though, unfortunately, he found himself kind of trapped between a rock and a hard place. And now, after going in on a bad pit stop in a bad situation, now having to deal with the pressure he faces. Right on the long side, though, you see Jason Henry, after smacking that wall there, falling from the graces of the top 10, now to the lower half of it, with Wally Bab in the 16th position. Yeah, you heard me, 16th for Bab. Not a spot we usually see him in, but he's had 2 bad races over the course of this season, and now this could be the 3rd, and this could be the killer for him. You have got to remain consistent in these races, and honestly, to make sure you lock the championship up, or you can even win it. This points race this season, way too tight and way too difficult to just be running away from anymore.
With the season winding down, and you're in the top few spots of the championship standings, you're gonna not want to make mistakes, because any mistake could really hurt you.
Well, I certainly can indeed, but I mean, we talk about it so often than not. I mean, we've had, out of 11 races now this season, we've had 9 of 10 so far. We've only had one driver bring home 2 wins, and that is the man, the number 51 right now, who's looking for that again. But Khan, he's already visited victory lane this season. He's trying to do it again. The guy behind Radke, though, Jeffrey Vickery, man, this is a guy that really throughout everything this season has had nothing but a little bit of bad luck and just a little bit of tough times to deal with the pressure. now trying to face the ultimate challenge and take this season by storm.
Well, we're just a little over halfway, so let's start getting ready to see who's gonna start taking strategy here with people just taking, as we have people going to pits.
Drivers going into pit road right now. Jeff Radke, Jeff Oaks, Jason Brent, they are the first ones in. They are the first to blink. And this is that strategy fuel again there, Michael, I'm telling you.
Yeah, more than likely these are the drivers that did pit right before the stage break. So the rest of these guys were more than likely the guys that did go in under stage break caution. So they'll more than likely be going in around lap 60 again to try to get 30 more laps of stuff to be able to go in at lap 90 to get fuel and tires lasting the rest of the race.
The longer you wait it out, the tougher though it becomes to make a right move and a right spot to head off from. I can tell you right now, just entering pit road is a very tricky subject in a situation as it is. It's cost me a few better positions and better finishes as of late. But I'll say this too, is that if you can get as much of that fuel out of the main course and the tires well being still conservatively saved, and you see whoever's in front of you going to pit road and you got just enough time, I always recommend going to pit road right after they do, so that you have a chance to just take fuel and run off, and hopefully if they catch up to you, you can block them down a bit and end up burn their race line. Of course, the dirty airflow certainly does make a difference here, and it seems to be doing a job on these guys and gals right now.
Because the fuel window is open. Fuel and tire window is open. Because right now, we have Khan running away from victory.
Speaking of windows open there, Pottle giving Bab a little bit of a chance to run down to that corner of turn number 3, open the door up, and Bab making his move across. But again, so far, he's only 13th position right now. If he gets in that top 10 and then even that top 5, then he's going to be making Radke sweat just a little bit here, but he needs all the help in the world at this point. He's not in good contention.
No, these drivers that are going to lap down are just now getting lapped because of pit cycling, but they'll be getting back on the lead lap soon after the pit cycling is complete.
Depending on how they strategize and if they rushed into pit road or not, that's going to be their biggest dilemma. Radke got into pit road and he's trying to hustle back to the field. We saw Mike right out just a second ago. He's going in, all 4 Goodyears and some fuel going on for that 76. And yet again, you know, Nashville Superspeedway, it's not been the flashiest race, but boy, has it been a stellar race in terms of strategies and positioning, really put up to position. That's what I like here.
And I'm not speaking for Corey Starr or Jason Brent, but what I think they're like you see right now is the yellow flag waving. That way they can have a chance to get some laps back.
Daily Paul says pit strategy is always important in racing, but it's especially crucial in Nashville Superspeedway due to the tight pit boxes and narrow pit lane. That is certainly the case there. But again, that narrow pit lane really can be boiled down to 2 things. Either A, you go in turn 3 and go in that turn to get to pit road, or B, you really got to shoot that corner in that it is a little narrow off turn 4, and if you got somebody behind you right now, that's not exactly something you want to deal with. The rattlesnake Robert Kahn has now headed into pit road, so he will now be giving his race lead away to the 7 of Vickery. Vickery going to try to last out a little longer, and right now the way he's driving, I have a feeling he's trying to get to where he only has to have about 35 laps of fuel to win this race out. Let's see if the strategy works. This could be a winning formula here for that number 7.
Well, you just took the words right out of my mouth. But who knows? Any of these drivers could still have a chance. These other drivers might be trying to push their field to their fuel as much as they can go.
By the way, can the officials please take the 21's cell phone away? He literally just put in the broadcast. I'd like to think I get faster as I age like fine wine, LOL. Con, who let you have that cell phone in that truck to begin with, sir?
You're not Chase Elliott at the Daytona 500 in 2012.
I thought that was Brad Keselowski.
It was somebody who's posted on Twitter.
That was Brad Keselowski. I'm pretty sure that was Brad Keselowski.
Anyway, somebody was posting about it on Twitter.
Yeah, it turned
Kozlowski,
NASCAR
Elliott.
into a Twitter hype for after that.
And drivers climbing out of their cars and everything. I'm surprised none of those drivers got fined for getting out of their cars. But yeah, it was a long red flag. Gave those drivers a chance to go use the porta potties in the infield.
Well, anyway, Jeffrey Vicker right now entering the pit road, so his strategy not quite going to work out as well as he'd like. Radke going to move ahead now and try to take over that race lead. Vickery trying to hurry into pit road and hopefully get himself a break here. We're going to focus in on him as Radke and Khan are coming up quick and coming up fast. Right side's going on. Looks like Vickery will take all 4 Goodyears. Yes, he will. And that means Radke now will jump right ahead into the race lead. Now, this isn't necessarily the end of the world. He does have a little bit of extra speed and giddy up now with 4 tires, but passing here, well, let's just say that might be easier said than done.
And now if I was Wally Babb, I would start to sweat a little more now, being 2 laps down, but just now being able to get 1 lap back with this pit cycle. Now just going back down to 1 lap.
Wait a minute, there's trouble. The 21 Freightliner of Robert Kahn. I don't know, literally, I don't know if the official said you got to get that phone out of there, or he has got a mechanical problem. That 21 has got a problem indeed.
He probably got speeding on pit road or something at that, because of the way he came in. That's really going to hurt Khan now.
So much raging like fine wine, I guess.
Or he has to go, or they're making him come get that phone out of that car so he doesn't text or drive.
Kids, listen carefully, listen good. Listen to your parents, don't text and drive, and it doesn't matter if you're in the sim or not, don't text and drive.
Don't even text and drive going a $180. That's more dangerous than texting and driving in general.
They're not going more than like a $177 out here. What are you talking about?
They can get, these trucks can get to a $180 at, depending on the track. But still, don't be texting and driving, even in a race car.
Yeah, we'll just take Michael's word for it, folks. Anyway, back into the action here. Battle up ahead now for the 6th spot. Jason Henry and Shane Ledoux having a little go at it. Ledoux has had a couple of podiums this season, or a chance at it or 2. And right now he's already making some strides here. It's good to see him finally start to kind of put things together. He was one of the first drivers we ever had join us in the iRacing League up at Metal as well on Pizza Racing TV, which, hard to believe, nearly 3 years of service, and you fans coming out here still enjoying this, and these drivers still putting on one heck of a show. It is awesome to say.
And now, I know a lot of these drivers, I know I said it once, but I think some of these drivers might want a caution to come out now, or a lap down, but I know Radke does not want to see the caution flag, because he's the new leader.
I mean, for how conservative everything has been, though, so far, I mean, really, the last thing I think anybody wants is a caution flag. I think at this point, they just want to drive as clean as they can, get this race good and go, and then let's next week in Michigan, our season finale, the Six Sigma 80, that should be one absolute enduring and awe-inspiring battle, as, of course, we saw in Michigan with the Go Racing League. That track can put a big show on, but at the same time, it can be a nightmare if you're not careful. I'm interested to see what kind of strategies and temperaments we'll get out of that one.
And speaking of, Corey Stahl has fallen down to 5 laps, and Jason Brent is down to 2 laps now.
And Robert Kahn right now still, unfortunately, without his truck and without his speed. What speeding penalty definitely must have cost him, and definitely gave him more trouble than he gave himself for the day.
As it does look like Corey Stahl might have been having some mechanical issues as he decided to load.
Kind of loading him up with as well. Bobby Anderson and Chantal Powell going at it a little bit. And there's been a little running joke around here about Dennis Warrens and Pottle. Those two, no matter where they go, no matter what race they're in, if they are in the race, eventually in a race, they will find each other side by side, and they'll be bound for at least 5 or 10 laps. That has been kind of the running joke I've been hearing from the garage and everything area over there. And I can say I've had the same running joke before because I've dealt with Pottle plenty of times on the track, and she's not exactly a girl or much less a driver I wouldn't even want to mess with outside of the truck, but in the truck, it's almost like this one is just a superhuman freak of nature. She's just scary to even try to deal with, man. That's why you never try to put her one-on-one with anybody, much less put some boxing gloves on.
That's a good one. Right now, it looks like Racky's starting to pull away a little bit from Dawson McKinney now, as he pulls his lead up to 7.5 seconds.
Well, Racky may have a good lead right now, but again, we got to look at the overall pit strategy here. And right now, pit lane here, Michael, Racky went in on lap 55, McKinney went on 60, Vickery was on lap 64, Oaks is on 55, and then Warren's is in 61 in terms of the top 5. Ledoux 63, and then the only one 64 was Chantel Pottle. That tells me strategies are not only forming to where they're now just hoping and praying that they can last out the distance, but I think honestly for Racky McKinney, I think honestly they probably, if they see a caution come out, they may actually be in a much better position than they are right now. This is a tough call for them because now they've got to try to figure out not only how to keep their speed up and keep their fuel mileage in check, but not only that, but they got to figure out, well, what are the other drivers going to do? Are they going to be able to save it up? Or are they going to take them down? That's a big question now they face.
As it looks like we're getting Shane Ledoux and Wally Babb trying to battle it out. This battle doesn't really matter anyway, it just matters for passing stuff. I think these two are going to try to stick together for a while so they can try to get Wally Babb back on the lead lap.
Well,
So if I was following,
well,
go ahead.
I was gonna say at this point, Wally Babb being on the lead lap is not gonna happen unless all of a sudden the sky turns blue and I get a little bit of a black and blue feel here. I don't think honestly Babb's gonna get that lap back at this point. He's currently struggling to keep up with the pace. He's struggling to get back up to the front, and drivers right now, they're going in at certain times, certain positions. It's really cost him. And Vickery, wait a minute. Vickery's going to pit road right now. This is interesting. What is the strategy here?
Or just trying to top off on get another spot, more than likely trying to get a top off on fuel, that way he can save his last set of tires if we do end up having to go into caution and force a green-white checkered.
We're going to focus on him real quick, see if he does take right sides or he's just going to take fuel. If I was him, oh, he's taking right sides. Will he go for the lefts? That's going to be his big opposition here. Is fuel going to be important? Yeah, he's taking just fuel and tire, right side. So, Jeff Racky and Don McKinney now know this is a very, very tough spot to be put into. This is going to be a very interesting situation. I'm going to be watching carefully here, but Racky has got to get into pit road. So does McKinney. If Racky goes in and takes all fours and McKinney takes all fours, they open the door up for the rest of the field to start to make a charge.
Now, if I was one of these drivers, I would want to just go take a splash of Goodyear Racing, of Sunoco Racing fuel, just to top off on fuel. That way, if we do go into caution, I'll have a fresher set of tires I can put on. Now, if all these guys use their last set and we go into caution, I'll know I'll have the fresher set.
Daly saying again in the comment section, if a caution comes out, allows teams to pit and make necessary adjustments to the vehicle, such as adding fuel, changing tires, and making repairs. It also means that the field will bunch up and drivers will have to fight for track position once the green flag drops again. This can lead to green flag drops again. This can lead to some intense battles and potentially risky maneuvers as drivers try to gain position. Well, I mean, the biggest problem with that competition was it really kind of showed a fine line for the drivers that were aware of how to really use that fuel and that tire strategy to their advantage, and then those that were not quite fully aware on how to really work in the rest of the field. Those that went in early, in my opinion, probably suffered the least, and those that went in really late may have suffered the most for their troubles. Kenny's coming out of pit road right now, so is Racky here, and Vickery trying to catch both of them quickly, but he's got a problem. He's dealing with Shane Ledoux, the race leader, and Ledoux trying not to let him by. Racky is already back up to pace and back up to speed, so is McKinney. And both drivers, Racky, you wouldn't believe it, he took all fours. McKinney took right sides. Vickery is now in a troublesome spot. He only took right sides, and now he realizes that may have been a bad move. This could easily trump his card. Ratke right now is in the driver's seat and taking full control of this race, in my opinion.
It's good news for the Wally Bat fans out there. He's now on the tail end of the lead lap.
Shane Ledoux on lap 63 tire right now, current fuel as well. I don't think he's honestly going to have enough, even if he wanted to try to ride this thing out on the ground. But I think what he's hoping for right now is a break or some help. I don't think he's going to get it. And he's right.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm thinking you're probably thinking what I'm thinking right now.
What?
Let's just put that pedal in the metal.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
$15 laps remain here at Nashville Superspeedway. Time running out. Oppositioning's running very low here. Robert Warren's trying to get ahead of the field and back on preservably lead lap territory. Gonna throw it right down at Shane Ledoux here in the number 12 as Jeff Oaks falls from behind. Oaks trying to get around Warrens and maybe trying to somehow, some way recoup his season. He has still got a chance for the championship, but he needs a good finish here, and he really needs a lot of work done in the final race, and he needs a lot of drivers to make some big mistakes there.
As Jeffrey Oaks looks like he's trying to use number 95 of Robert Warren's as a little drafting partner, or as NASCAR broadcaster said today, dancing partner. Not like the dancing you're thinking of, fighting dancing, like dancing as drafting.
Well, it takes two to tango when it comes to a draft, and it takes two to tango when it comes to getting some speed here on BTM Racing TV.
I think this might be, for me at least, the first ever one-caution race I've seen so far, but I'm not going to jinx it just yet.
Ledoux, Anderson now have hit the pit road, so that means Ratke, McKinney, Vickery, Warrens, Oaks, Pottle, they all went in on pit road already. They are currently riding this one out. Whether or not their strategies work out in their favor, that will hinder on one thing and one thing only, which is, does that green stay out?
And Wally Bapp has fallen yet again back to one lap down, which means for Ratke, that could help his chances at being able to contend for the season title next week.
Man, Oaks right now, this is extremely good stuff right here for this 20 camp, because again, he's in the top 5, Babb's in a bad spot. Ratke will inevitably probably overtake Babb if he finishes where he's at in terms of the points going into the final race of the season. But for Oaks, this right now where he's at, he'll get a good amount of points back on Babb, and he'll stay within range on Ratke. So if Ratke next week, if he wins this race, makes any mistakes or gets any issues, Oaks has a chance. So does Babb. But again, Babb needs to start really practicing Michigan up, because right now Nashville is looking like it's going to be A long shot and a long done, unfortunately for him.
And I gotta say, for these fans in attendance, I don't think they were expecting the virtual fans at the track. I don't think they were expecting it to be mainly green all day. But sometimes that's how it goes.
That's how it goes indeed here. Chances now starting to become further and further around the lines. 10 laps remain here, and everything is being put on these drivers' hands. Radke right now still trying to maneuver through lap traffic. Shane Ledoux coming off pit road. Again, looks like he'll set himself up for our top 10 finish today. Anderson, though, going to drive it right underneath, trying to get that lap back in case something, if anything, happens. But again, this has been probably one of the cleanest and well executed pure racing nights and days, I should say, for Pedal to Metal Racing League. This has been brilliant so far, and I have loved every minute of it. I don't know about you, Michael, but this has been a good one today.
Oh, I loved every single second of it. And this is great. This is great music for the Music City.
It is indeed.
Not the music you'd think of when you hear the Music City, but still music to my ears.
Nothing wrong with it.
And if Radke does win tonight, will that put him at, what, 3 wins this season, right?
That will be win number 3, yep. So he was the only driver to get multiple wins. But remember last season, Robert Kahn had multiple wins, but he did not walk away with the championship. That honor went to Bobby Anderson because of, again, consistency, and he also had a win to his name. So he pretty much help keep his points rated up and keep his chances up. But I think last season we only had 8 of 12 different winners. We've already broken that, no matter what ends up being this season, with 9 out of 10. If it's 9 out of 11 and 9 out of 12, either way, this season has been the greatest in terms of new winners and a parody of itself with these truck series, and really hinders all on one thing again, that is the absolute purist of racing and strong-hearted mindsets of not only these crews and these drivers, but this entire league putting in the work and putting in the effort to make sure it got done right, and it's done in such a fair and unique manner.
Who knows? We could have Radke win today, and who knows? We could have a new winner next week. That new winner really wouldn't really do anything but just add a name onto the list for different winners on the year, really.
You'd be surprised though, sometimes it adds up and it makes for quite the show.
It'll be good. I think we're coming to 4 to go.
4 laps remain. Meanwhile, 5 laps still remain as your Radke will bring it right around for 4 to go indeed. But Anderson and Ledoux, well, let's just say they have a little unfinished business. Anderson at this point just trying to salvage for a top 5 position. Remember, it's not just leaders on the top of the end that get some percent at the end of the season. It's top 5 in points that will get something for their troubles. And that's exactly what they're hoping for, and that's exactly what they're cutting out to be.
At this point in time, with this race just becoming a race for points at this time, probably.
Could very well be. I mean, at this point, for Radke, again, he's going into this race. He's number 2 in the points. He came in, and he was only out by 4 points. With this win, if he gets it, it's not over yet, if he gets it, he would have now edged himself in and given himself quite a bit of a break here. Or, excuse me, actually he's coming in 5 points down, excuse me, not 4. 4 is Robert Warren's. So Warren's, Radke, and Oaks going in only by so much of a deficit, 4 to 5 to 7 points. Oaks needs a good day next week and a little bit of luck that Warren's, Radke, and Babb struggle with to take the title. But for the first time in quite a while, and again, this is without playoff points. This is without playoff racing. This is not with some little gimmick that they came up with, ladies and gentlemen. This is literally how the points stacked up. Each race mattered, each pot mattered, and every time they cranked those engines up and they put these trucks out on the track, we got this. White flag in the air, we've got 1 to go. And going into next week, 5 drivers are going to have the ultimate opportunity, depending on how things go and how things flow, they will have a chance at claiming the biggest title of them all in the Pedal Limiter Racing League season's history. Season 9 championship will be determined next week, but for Jeff Radke, into turn 3 to turn number 4, he will win the ButtKicker 100 after a long, grueling battle. He takes it here in Lebanon.
And only one caution on the race. What a race. One caution, green flag, the whole rest of the way. But I remind you, the only caution we had was for the stage break.
What a day and what a race, to say the least here. Radke, it's got to be a happy camper in that from that Mooresville, North Carolina 51 camp. He's going to bring this one home to victory lane. And as I just mentioned, with this win, he now sits on top of the points. Bab will have his workout for Michigan, as will Robert Warrens, Jeff Oaks as well, and possibly could have another name in there we're missing. You never know here on Pete's Racing TV. But nevertheless, 4 for sure, and possibly 5 are going to go for the title next week in Michigan.
As you are watching, the fill to the middle, checker flag moment of the race.
Awesome day of racing, awesome time to be alive here on the show. And Knights fans, here is your final result. This is presented in part by our friends at GainZFitness.inc. Jeff Radke wins it in the Nashville Superspeedway with the ButtKicker 100. Dalton McKinney brings it home for a solid second. Third goes to Jeffrey Vickery. Fourth to Robert Warrens. Jeff Oaks goes fifth. Chantel Pottle, a solid 6 for her. 12th will go to Shane Ledoux. 8 will go to Bobby Anderson. 9 to Jason Henry. And Mike Rideout bringing it home for a top 10. That will then settle us down into our quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. We're going to go ahead and get ready to talk with the top 3 drivers.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker, the future is feeling.
When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Lightning Wrapz. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Lightning Wrapz. Get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now back live here on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk to your top 3 drivers of the day. And Jeffrey Vickery, a podium yet again, sir, and another strong performance here. Congratulations on that. But yet again, sir, the strategy, it looked solid, looked good, but it just looked like ran out of fuel and ran out of laps yet again. What went wrong down there?
I was hoping to, I don't know, pit before Radke and McKinney, and then I took rights only in fuel, and then I came back out. I was like, how's Dalton in front of me? And I asked him. He goes, I took rights only also. So that didn't work out. But I mean, P3, I'll take it. This season hasn't been great to me, anyways. But I don't know. It was a fun race.
A fun race indeed here. Really, if there's anything you could have done differently throughout, was there anything maybe you would have tried it here at the Nashville Superspeedway?
No, I don't think so. Those guys are quick. Con was up there too earlier. I don't know if he didn't get enough fuel or what, but the first stint I burned the tires up, and then I just took it easier the second stint, and that helped a ton.
For sure there. Go ahead, Michael.
Anybody you would like to thank tonight?
You guys for broadcasting all the sponsors you have, ButtKicker, Lightning Wrapz. I can't remember them all. I probably should write them down. All the teammates, all the guys over Threat Level Midnight Motorsports, and that's it.
We're sure there. All right, well, victory nevertheless. We really appreciate you coming on board here today. Congratulations, bringing this one on home for third place.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey Vickery going to bring it home for third. Your second place finisher today, ladies and gentlemen, comes to us in the McNingers, number 46, Dalton McKinney, now joining us here. And Dalton, oh my, sir, it seems as though you've either got a lock on the podium or you got a lock on second, except for that one race, man. Does this you just have something to do with literally having to run this thing in the ground each week?
Yeah, it's I was just saying, I think it's like 5 or 6 seconds and then the first, and it's hard to complain about that, but running second every week isn't fun. Try to win, but I'm glad Racky could pull it off. I had some bad luck there earlier in the race. I got kind of trapped a lap down there at this stage because I didn't have enough fuel, so I had to pit. After I got the wave around, I started deep. We never did get another caution, so I was just kind of battling back all night. I wish we could have had a caution there with 30, 40 to go. That way I get on the same tire strategy as Racky and be side by side with him. I felt like that was my only chance.
Now, when you went into the pits for the final time, were you expecting to hopefully have a chance at running for second, or what were your thoughts going into the pits for the final stop of the day?
Well, I wasn't paying enough attention. Whenever I pitted, I didn't know Racky pitted that same lap. Looking back, I wish I would have ran a couple more laps. That way I had fresher tires. Just a couple laps helps a lot. He would have got out there a little further. I don't think I could have got to him either way. Once I saw we both pitted, I went ahead and took 2 tires because I assumed he was taking 4 because I figured my only chance was to leapfrog him on pit road. But I wasn't able to do that, so I knew once we came out of pit road, if there was no caution, it looked like it was going to be second for me again.
Indeed, there.
Indeed.
Well, nevertheless, though, I mean, as you come away today for second, Dalton, anybody you want to thank for that?
Yeah, everyone at Threat Level Midnight Motorsports, a lot of fun having them guys in my ear each and every week. Congrats again on Racky getting the win. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting it for us, and we look forward to running the season finale next week in Michigan. I love that track, so hopefully we can do one better next week.
For sure there. All right, well, Dalton, one more race to go, but nevertheless, congratulations here on the show.
Thank you.
Dalton McKinney, ladies and gentlemen, there on the line as we now bring in our race winner, the ButtKicker 100 winner today. It's going to be Jeff Radke in the 51. And Radke, man, oh man, you bring home yourself another win, and you're the only driver so far this season to get more than one. That is absolutely insane, to say the least here.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was a fun race. I like pit strategy.
Well, on the topic of pit strategy, when you noticed that Vickery went in, were you planning on going in a few laps later?
No, I wasn't based off anybody else around me. I knew I had far enough distance that I was just going to run my own race and pit with 20 to go that way and see where it went from there.
Well, congratulations on having 3 in a row.
And
3 in this season.
And looking through for it all here today, my friend, you're going to walk away with the W's. So who do you want to thank you for the ButtKicker 100 win today?
As always, my wife for letting me do it every week. You guys for putting the league on. My team, TLM, for the support they give. That's about it.
All right, Racky, man, congratulations bringing home the ButtKicker 100 today here at Nashville Superspeedway.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too, ladies and gentlemen. That is Jeff Racky, your race winner today here on the show. And once more, Michael, another one in the books. One left to go.
Indeed, 1 left to go. And and by watching today, I feel like with these drivers knowing that there was 1 race left, they're just trying to get points tonight instead of trying to actually race. They're just all trying to get points and finish high in the standings.
Yeah, it certainly would see the case indeed. The points couldn't be any closer if you tried. Just to clarify real quick before we get off the air, this is just something to take note of. Racky right now jumps ahead by 1 point entering in the final race. Bab is down by 1. Warren's down by 2. Oaks only 6. And, oh yeah, there's a little driver by the name of Bobby Anderson. He's only out by 11. And that's not an unfeasible number. It is possible he could kind of swipe in there a little bit and shock some drivers here and take another position up. So 4 drivers feasibly can go for the championship next week to confirm. So Racky, Bab, and Warrens and Oaks will go for it to Depending on how things finish out, one of them will be crowned the Season 9 Pedal Metal Racing League Truck Series champion. As for the rest, though, Anderson, Hoffert, Vickery, they all have a piece of the stake to enter that top 5 scenario too. So stay tuned for that. Many, many storylines to come up. But nevertheless, race fans, as we sign off here today, we can't thank you enough for supporting our show and come on onto the track. Thank you so much to Six Sigma Sim Racing, the ButtKicker Company, the Pit Stall Racing Series, Ford Entertainment Group, or w.fegcustompc.com, GainZFitness Incorporated, and of course, Lightning Wrapz for all their support this season. Michael, it's been a pleasure, sir. We're signing off here today from Nashville Superspeedway. So long, everybody. We'll see you next time when the green flag flies.